Hello everyone, this is the Parks Academy where we discuss and celebrate all things theme parks related. We focus mainly on Disney parks and resorts in both Anaheim and Orlando. My name is Paige.
My name is Steven.
And today we will be continuing our mini-series about the history of popular Disney snacks.
Two things. First of all, we did a little poll about what people wanted to hear us talk about. And the topic on this one, the one we're talking about this week, was obviously the one that was most picked. I'm really was kind of confused why everyone wanted to pick it, but you said you have some really extensive stuff on it, so I'm excited about that. Secondly, if you guys saw on Instagram yesterday, we didn't release an episode yesterday because I got this just insane throat issue where I was congested and sounded like a robot person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming out late, but it's here. One of our friends actually wrote to us on our social medias and said she thought that I actually put on a voice filter. She didn't think it was real. It was
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pollen got you good this time.
I think so too. So
good old spring allergies, but we're back.
I'm good now. I'm drinking so much water.
And taking all the Mucinex.
Taking so much Mucinex. I'm just imagining that whenever I cough, this is gross. Plug your ears or don't eat something when you're listening. When I'm coughing something, I'm imagining it's like the Mucinex commercial with a little booger with the hat.
Yep.
And the little, yellow stained tank top or whatever he wears.
Ew.
Very funny.
Ew.
So I'm going to try to bring...
Thanks for all the sniffles for the listeners.
I'm going to bring everything without coughing is the plan.
There you go. And yes, the people have spoken.
Yeah, what did you
They
pick?
want to hear about Mickey Waffles.
That's insane to me, but...
They really want to hear about Mickey Waffles.
Into it.
I think it's probably because it's a super, super popular item. Not just a snack food, but an actual meal item.
Mm-hmm.
People will eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
It's like a staple.
People make them at home with their little Mickey waffle irons. So I think because it's not just a snack, I think it is such a bigger deal and more people are thinking about it.
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea where you're going to go with this because with churros, I knew that there was a lot to talk about. With Dole Whip, same thing, but I'm excited to get into this one. What are you excited about this week?
What I'm excited about this week is we will be using our Hershey season passes for the first time.
Yeah.
Woo!
This weekend we're going. I'm excited.
Yes.
That'll be a lot of fun.
The weather's supposed to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be too hot. The crowds shouldn't be crazy yet because we haven't hit
awesome.
Memorial Day and school being out yet.
Right.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too. There's a couple roller coasters I'm really looking forward to going on. I don't think the Wildcats Revenge is open yet. It might be.
It should be.
I don't know if it had its big grand opening. I haven't seen anything about it on their social.
Let me find out.
But I haven't looked that close. But Jolly Rancher Remix, I've been wanting to go on that one, and I hadn't had the opportunity yet. So I'm looking forward to going on a few things. And since we've already been to Hershey with our kid 4 times, to the park once with her, I'll be able to sort of split off a little bit and try a couple roller coasters.
It says coming this summer.
Yeah, I didn't think it was open, fully open yet.
It will be interesting to see if that means it'll be open right after Memorial Day.
Well, so this week or last week, I think I saw the official signage go up on the building. That's why I wasn't so sure. But yeah. And then additionally with that, we're also going to be going to the Disney outlet store in Hershey, Pennsylvania, right next door to Hershey Park. I can't wait for that. I'm actually almost more excited to go there than I am to go to Hershey Park itself.
That was a really fun surprise that if you listen to our road trip episode from spring break, that we just happened to find a Disney outlet that's pretty darn close to our house. So
yeah, well, it's less than an hour and a half away.
Right.
And so that to me is
it's like an hour.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
This week I think I'm excited about
Do we need to play some ESPN
No,
music?
I have no. Here's what I'm excited about. Just this morning, it was announced that the Yoda Legacy lightsaber is going to be released.
I saw that.
I never post about news or merch, but I did on our social today. And then Ezra Bridger's Ezra Bridger's lightsaber from Rebels was also released, supposedly, but it was actually supposed to be out today, but for some reason, people were having a hard time finding it on shopdisney.com. I probably won't be buying one because money, and also I don't really just need to like collect a bunch of legacy lightsabers. I already have 2 and a Savi, so that's probably enough for me for now. But it looks cool. I'm glad they have it, and it's just been one that I thought would be a cool wish list item. So the Yoda Legacy Saber is gonna be fun. It's gonna be small, compact, much like what you would expect.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Very cool.
Are you ready to get into Disney snacks? Waffle style.
Waffle style.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so today we are going to be talking about waffles. Honestly, this episode is going to be pretty waffle history heavy. The introduction to Disney with waffles, I think, is not what I was expecting, but there's also not a ton to report about it. So I think that's actually going to be kind of a small portion of this. And then we'll talk, as we always do, about where you can find them and sort of how it has grown and changed over the years since they first started. So let's first dive in with the history. I always start with, what is this snack made of? And literally every single person knows what a waffle is.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you are not a baker, perhaps you don't know all the ingredients of a waffle. And waffles are made with flour, baking powder, sugar, eggs, milk, butter, and salt. Classic breakfast or pastry or baked good.
I have a little twist on them when I make my waffles and pancakes.
Do you add vanilla?
That's a secret. It's a secret recipe. But yes, I add
Rewind
vanilla.
what I just said.
I
play it backwards.
No. I add vanilla, yeah.
Well, that actually is a pretty...
It's pretty common.
It's a pretty common thing. Yeah. Vanilla extract, almond extract. Like people like to add that for a little extra flavor. Some people will add something like a cinnamon or something just to add a little
garlic
texture.
Powder.
My dad always likes to add like blueberries to pancakes or waffle mix. Just
chocolate
to spice
chips.
It up. Yes.
I don't like blueberry pancakes. They get super soggy, and I'm just not a fan.
I like chocolate chip pancakes.
Yeah. Waffles are just plaid pancakes.
That is funny that you say that because that kind of has to do with what we're talking about today.
That's funny.
And the history of waffles.
All right, well then go for it then.
So let's dive in. Waffle-like recipes have actually existed for over 4,000 years.
I completely believe that.
And the way that we know that is basically hotcakes were cooked and flipped back and forth so that both sides received equal heat to make sure that it was not just cooked, but cooked like perfectly on both sides.
Right.
And so we sort of see some of these same ingredients, just like pancakes and waffles are basically the same thing, just different shapes. And the way that they're now cooked is just a little different. It's like a griddle flat top versus an actual waffle iron.
Yeah.
And so this history has been for over 4,000 years. In ancient Greece and then later in the Middle Ages, different variations of these were made. And so they were kind of known more as wafers as we got into that time period. The first quote unquote waffle recipe was made in the late 14th century, but it did not include a leavening agent. So it was not the same as the waffles that we know today. So in the 15th century, then they started using that grid pattern, which Stephen lovingly referred to as plaid.
Plaid pancakes, that's correct.
And that is still used today.
Yes.
Sorry, I had a scratch on my face.
Okay.
And leavening agents began being used then in the 16th century.
I feel like waffle irons just remind me of blacksmithing. So when you said 4,000 years ago, I was like, that sounds like it could be completely right. I don't know why. I know that you weren't.
Iron over the fire.
Yeah, like I know you're not blacksmithing waffles, but
Yes, but I mean, like part of the process is similar.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's like heating up iron.
So waffles first came to America because obviously if it's been around for 4,000 years, America ain't that old. And so
Did you say America ain't that old?
Yes.
Yeah. And you would know that if you went to the American Pavilion.
You would. You would get that history lesson.
Yeah, you'd find out how old we actually are.
Brett really got us good on that one, that we don't go to the America Pavilion enough.
I know, but
that
I already live there.
Literally never been.
Yeah.
You've never been.
They have the best. They have the best bathrooms.
And you always eat the food there and drink the beers.
True.
But in America, waffles first came here with the Dutch immigrants in, this is not a trivia question, what 3 states do you think the Dutch immigrants most settled in and brought waffles?
Pennsylvania.
Yes.
New Jersey.
Yes.
And New York.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
You get a bonus point.
Yeah, I know. So
that was really impressive.
Yeah, that was pretty good, huh?
That was really good. There were 50 options and you picked the correct 3.
I knew that New Jersey and Pennsylvania were shoo-ins just because, Pennsylvania Dutch and what's happening. Yeah, I have relatives, like ancestors that are Pennsylvania Dutch, so I don't know any of them, of course. They're dead because they're ancestors, but they're somewhere out there.
So that's where the waffles were brought to America, and that was in the 17th century. So we sort of have progressed from 14th century, 15th. We added in sort of the iron grid pattern. The 16th century, we added the leavening agent, and then 17th century, it gets brought to America. Recipes then here in America were based on Dutch, French, and Belgian recipes. And so we've all heard, the term Belgian waffles, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes. But the actual word waffle was first used in the English language in 1725.
Wow.
As the concept of the waffle was spreading throughout America and through England.
Interesting.
Yes.
So older than the country itself, huh?
Correct.
That's cool.
Waffles, the actual term waffle is older than America.
That's really interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Yes. And then the original waffle iron was just a cast iron hinge device that was held over in open fire.
Yeah.
So much like you were comparing it or thinking of it as blacksmithing.
Yeah.
They just took this iron device that had a hinge on it, and so you would put the ingredients in between.
Yeah.
And heat it up over the fire, and voila.
I had this vision, and I'm going to speak it into the universe, not for manifestation purposes, but for my own memory.
Okay.
I was thinking about TM, a blacksmith cooking a Mickey waffle over an open flame. And how funny that would be as like a sticker or a shirt or something. So
that would be very cool.
I'm going to work on that.
You should do
that.
I
might need to like call one of our artist friends because that would be very good.
Or consult a robot.
Yeah, no. Midjourney was my other thought. See if like one of my AI tools can do it for me.
Right. But that would be so cute.
I know.
That'd be really cute.
Yeah.
They could sell that in the America Pavilion.
I know. A blacksmith making Mickey waffles.
Yes. But it's Mickey is the blacksmith.
No. It's just a blacksmith,
But why would Mickey not be the blacksmith?
Because he's making a Mickey waffle. Like Mickey's not, it's just like a regular old blacksmith, but he's making a Mickey waffle.
Just a standard guy from 1730.
Yeah, exactly.
With his iron hinge device.
That's correct.
Okay.
But it's like he forged it to look like Mickey Mouse.
Okay. I see what you did there.
Pretty good,
Yep, that's great.
Yeah, Mickey's not a blacksmith.
It was a little ahead of its time.
Yeah, right.
Because we definitely did not have Mickey waffles in 1725, but we were getting there.
It's just a thought that I had. So
it's a cute idea.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. All right. So we are still at the antiquated way of making waffles with a big old iron hinge device, and we are still in the 1700s. However, once we fast forward to the 1910s, General Electric introduced the electric waffle iron. And then by the time you get to the 30s, it is pretty much a standard household appliance at this point, just like everybody has a... I don't know when microwaves or toasters came out, but let's pretend they were also out.
Well, toasters came out well before microwaves.
Correct.
Yeah.
Microwaves
was that like the
mid-century?
First came out in 1906 was when the first U.S. patent application for an electric toaster was filed by George Schneider.
Okay, and when did microwaves come out? Is that like 60s? 70s?
1967.
Ooh.
I was actually going to say, not to like put them on blast, but I was going to say I think both my parents are older than the microwave. No, wait. The first domestic microwave was introduced in 1955, but it failed to launch because it was expensive and because the microwave technology was still an unknown, just like AI. So it wasn't really until 1967 that the microwave finally caught on in American homes.
I was going to say, I think I've had a conversation with one of our grandparents about how they remember when everyone on their street got a microwave.
Yeah.
Like I remember that conversation with one of our grandparents, and I can't remember who it was.
But you know, I mean,
but it makes sense in the 60s.
So 67 was when it like really started coming together. So you got like almost a 60+ year difference between electric toaster and the microwave. Your microwave.
It's different technology.
Yeah.
Right. But all of that to say, everybody must have cared a lot about waffles. And we're making a lot of waffles because it was a common household appliance when you got to the 30s. And then frozen waffles, which we now refer to as just Eggos because that's the main brand that we know.
It's like saying Kleenex, you know?
Right. It's the main brand that we know. Frozen waffles were actually introduced in 1953 under a different name. I think it was a set of brothers that had designed the frozen waffles, and then they became Eggo's brand.
Do you like Eggo waffles?
I don't not like Eggo waffles. Like we used to have them a lot when I was a kid. You just stick them in the toaster.
So did we. I think I've always found them to be kind of gross.
I feel like the 90s and early 2000s was a lot of let's have all these frozen things and just heat them up really quick. Like
frozen pizzas,
kids' cuisines, and Hot Pockets, and Tostitos.
Hot Pockets were actually pretty good.
And Eggos, and
Pizza Pockets.
Yes.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets, you know?
Yes.
Just the list goes on. Snapping to grid with Eggo waffles, I always found them to have like a bitter taste to them. They taste very bitter to me and strange.
Okay.
It's almost like the sharpness at the end of it. Like it tastes okay when you first take a bite, but then it's very sharp, and I don't know what it is. But I've always had a problem with some of the taste or some of like the notes.
Okay.
Of the waffle.
Yes. Well, they're not going to taste as fresh, of course, because they're definitely frozen.
Yeah, I don't know I can't explain it. I haven't had one probably in 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah. Something about the flavor of Eggo waffles just does not sit right with me.
Interesting. I wonder what their ingredients are. It'd be interesting to look at to see how it compares to a fresh waffle.
I would imagine it's not just what you rattled off as the ingredients, and I'm sure it's not just adding vanilla.
A handful of preservatives and things.
That's something else.
For sure. Okay. We're almost to the Disney portion here, but a little bit more about waffles and the actual history of waffles. Steven, here's a question for you. So, do you know the difference between a Belgian waffle and a standard old waffle without looking it up?
I feel like it has to do with thickness. No, wait, is it? Yes, thickness, right? It's like thickness and then one's square and one's not, although I feel like that's incorrect.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be square or not.
But it's thickness, right? Belgian waffles are
larger.
Big, thick boys, usually.
It's larger.
Yeah.
So the grid lines are bigger, so that the squares are larger. Yeah. And they have, they are traditionally eaten more as like a street food is actually how it started.
And usually you'll see them be more like
just eat with your hands.
Savory with like junk on them, like strawberries and jams and powdered sugars.
You know your waffle history.
Unfortunately, I really do. I majored in it. I actually majored in waffle economics.
That is fantastic.
You know?
So the traditional Belgian waffles are street foods. You eat them with your hands. Syrup is not usually a topping for them because that's too messy.
Syrup should not be
a
topping on waffles.
But the Belgian waffle was introduced to the United States at the 1962 World's Fair in Seattle. Yeah. And it did not grow in popularity until the 64-65 World's Fair in New York. And that's where they topped them with, just like you just said, strawberries and whipped cream. So it really started to take off as a huge thing, a popular item, the Belgian waffle in the mid-60s. So then let's talk about...
That's super interesting. Sorry, about the World's Fair, because the Belgian waffle was introduced alongside You know, great things like Small World and Carousel of Progress and stuff like that.
Which is why I felt like that was a good
Isn't that interesting?
transition.
That's
The
a good
World's
one, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. Were you going to say that, or did I just...
Well, no, but that's why I left. That's why I left the history at that point and chose that to be the transition point to Disney, because the way that it was then introduced to Disney. So originally they had started at Disney just serving Mickey pancakes because that's easier.
It's very easy to do.
You're just plopping the batter down in the Mickey shape, right? But Disney started then experimenting with their batter supplier and with different irons in the 80s and discovered that they could, in fact, make Mickey-shaped waffles. So Imagineering helped actually with the mold of the design to make sure that the waffle would stay intact with that shape after it was cooked, so it didn't get all...
That's crazy that Imagineers had to jump in and do that.
Yes. So Imagineers were helping out with the whole process. And so because of this, because they had to get Imagineering in on this as well as the batter supplier and the people that were making the irons, it was not just one person who's credited with being responsible for bringing Mickey Waffles to the parks, nor is there a specific day or year because it was such a process with such a team effort that the transition from Mickey Pancakes to Mickey Waffles must have been not as simple as, okay, we now have this, let's switch over. In either Disneyland or Disney World, there's no definitive person or date responsible for this transition.
That's so interesting. Could you imagine like Raleigh Crump or like Mark Davis just slaving away over waffle designs?
I know. Like trying to get the waffle iron just the right shape, just the right size to exactly get the dimensions of Mickey Mouse perfectly.
I feel like you're gonna have someone say like, that's not my job description.
Isn't that weird?
That's super funny.
Isn't that weird?
I'm into that though. That's really cool. I love that.
So yeah, that is the history of waffles and how we got waffles into the Disney parks. So that brings us to the 80s, which is where we found that a lot of these big popular snacks really kicked off in the 80s. That was a turning point for Disney, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, there's the history. It was. We're not into the like talking about like the history of the culture and stuff, but the 80s was really an interesting time for Disney because it was like you're looking at like 20-ish years after Walt died, kind of filter through a few CEOs and just trying to get everything to go.
Right.
So that's a really
and the parks were all pretty established at that point. Obviously, Walt Disney World was not what it is now.
Right.
But you had both Magic Kingdom and Disneyland were both well established by the time you get to the 80s. And so they were really hitting their stride and the company was hitting their stride. They had plenty of their great films out already and they were really in the middle of making a lot of the big films that came out in the 80s and early 90s
I'm telling
too.
You, Eisner, he really did a lot for the parks. Like as far as he threw a lot of darts at the wall and some of them just did not stick or hit the right area. But yeah, he did a lot. So he's
iconic.
Yeah. Big time.
For sure.
Big time.
All right. Are you ready to talk about waffles in the parks?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So Mickey Waffles, obviously, if you've been to any of the Disney parks, you can find them at most every breakfast place around the resorts, around property. They actually do come in 2 sizes, which I didn't realize there was a larger size one. I've only ever gotten the smaller ones.
I have had a larger one.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. So they do come in the larger size, which is basically a plate size. It's just one waffle. Or the smaller ones, they're typically the ones you find on kids' menus or they're served as multiples. And so you can get those at most breakfast places. They are also just as popular in the international parks, ironically. And so Tokyo Disneyland, I thought this was so cute. I looked up the kiosk. There's an entire kiosk restaurant that is dedicated to Mickey Waffles, and it's called the Great American Waffle Company at Tokyo Disneyland. It is so cute.
Tokyo Disneyland is very quickly becoming like a bucket list for me. Yeah, I keep looking at stuff they're doing, and I just really want to go there.
It's so cute. So I loved that. I thought that was really sweet because I know that obviously a lot of the snacks and merch and stuff would translate not just from the parks in the US, but to the international parks as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It just seemed like waffles seemed like such an American and European thing to me that I was like, why would they even care about waffles in Tokyo Disneyland? But I think that is so cute that they have like a little kiosk, and it's literally called the Great American Waffle Company, which sounds like the most American thing you could think of. That or burgers. Like, I feel like those would be the two things that they would call something American.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah. The other thing is you can purchase your own Mickey waffle maker at home. And so if you look online at any of your favorite retailers, whether it's a, big box store or an online retailer, most of them will have Mickey waffle makers available.
Now, are you referring to like the ones that you see at the park or the ones like the one like we have?
So, two things. Okay. One, there used to be a ton sold that there were like issues with safety. And I think a lot of them were either recalled or people had issues with them like not working or catching on fire. And those were similar to the one that we have, because the one that we have actually does make the thicker Mickey waffles. It's not the exact same design as the ones in the park, but it does make thicker ones.
The one that we have, you have like, it's a pretty small footprint for the actual maker.
It makes the mini ones.
Yeah,
right?
Not mini ones, Mickey ones.
Ha ha ha.
Miniature
Mickey ones.
The middle is very much of like your regular plaid waffle grid. And then you have 2 ears on the top. I'll link it to the show notes, but you can get it for $28 on Amazon. It's the Disney DCM-9 Mickey Mini Waffle Maker Black.
So descriptive.
Yeah. So
that's great.
It's good. I mean, I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah. But, it's great because it makes the thicker waffles, which I like.
I know.
Because the problem is most of the other ones that you find online, the waffles actually do have Mickey Mouse's face on them instead of just the grid lines like ours, but they're really flat.
Yeah,
they don't have the grid lines, but they're really, really fairly thin waffles. It's like a pancake with just a press on top that makes Mickey's face and the ears. It's weird.
I see a Millennium Falcon waffle maker online too.
Yeah,
and
but it's
very,
just
very
the
thin
flat
looking.
one. Yes.
Yeah, I like the one that we have a lot actually.
Right. So
I'll definitely link into the show notes. We're not an affiliate member of Amazon or anything,
we
but
get zero commission.
It's a fun little product, and it's actually really cheap. It's got like almost 10,000 4.5-star ratings, like average. So it's a good product. I like it.
Are you ready for this secret?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, everybody. So buy the waffle maker, either the one we have, or you could just use a regular waffle maker, or buy the other Mickey Mouse waffle makers, or whatever one you want. There's all kinds of Disney ones. Anyway, rumor has it that golden malted waffle mix, which you can buy anywhere, is what Disney uses in their recipe. So when you go to the Disney parks, their waffles taste just a little different than just the standard, like no vanilla, no almond, extract.
No extracts, just
But there's
plain
something
Jane.
that's a little different about them.
Yeah, they're fine.
And people have figured out that it tastes exactly like the recipe that uses the golden malted waffle mix.
Interesting.
And someone within the Disney company was asked if they used that, and they said something along the lines of like, that is a supplier that we have an affiliation with. And then they a very cryptic, they didn't want to say yes and give away the secret.
From like a rooftop next door, a blow dart came shooting into their neck, and they got dragged out.
Right.
Never to be seen or heard again.
So if you would like to completely replicate the Disney waffles, you can find that recipe online. You can buy golden malted waffle mix.
Yeah, I would say that's great. I love that for everyone. But I would say do it. Just try your hand at it from scratch.
Yeah.
Because it's better. It's always better that way.
Homemade waffles and pancakes are great.
It's not hard. It's super, super easy.
And you can also
it's
customize
more rewarding.
it. You can customize it if you have
whatever you want to do.
Allergies or intolerances, which is really nice. The thing that we enjoy about it is because I can't have dairy. we can just sub out things. Like instead of using milk or instead of using butter, we just do substitutes.
Yeah, we usually use like vegan butter and almond milk or something.
Yeah, and it tastes just as good. And sometimes you get that little bit of sugar or almond flavor in an almond milk or something.
Absolutely.
So switch out the ingredients and see what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about inside the parks. In Magic Kingdom, Sleepy Hollow is actually one of the locations that serves that full-size waffle, and that comes covered in powdered sugar. Tusker House in Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Yep.
Also,
breakfast.
They serve Simba and Nala waffles instead of Mickey Waffles, which is adorable. They are so cute. But there are no other Mickey Waffles served in Disney's Animal Kingdom at this time.
In Disney's Animal Kingdom or anywhere?
In Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
So in Animal Kingdom, the only waffles you're going to get are actually like Simba and Nala.
Interesting. Okay.
In Disney's Animal Kingdom proper, like not the resorts that are like linked with Animal Kingdom, quote unquote. But I thought that was interesting. And then Hollywood Scoops in Hollywood Studios sometimes serves the smaller waffles with blueberries and whipped cream, which is great.
I'm sorry. The Simba and Nala waffles get a D- for me.
I think they're cute.
They're super rough looking.
I think they're cute.
Yeah.
It's basically like an imprint in the middle.
Yeah.
They're not shaped like Simba and
They're
Nala.
okay. They're okay.
It's going to be hard to replicate what they do with the Mickey waffle because you would have to literally have a waffle iron that is shaped like each of the characters.
That's totally true. I just was surprised that it was like it's almost like it's like a challenge coin kind of.
Yes,
but in waffle form. No, that's good.
I think it's cute. Another fun fact is I'm fairly certain that almost every Disney resort serves Mickey waffles.
Yeah,
down to the value resorts all the way up through.
So when we were at Caribbean Beach last go, we had breakfast, and I had Mickey Waffles there.
So did I, and I had dairy-free Mickey Waffles. Yeah. If you remember, they put the little stick in my breakfast.
I remember that
said allergy.
Yeah, they were fine. I
thought they were.
I have thoughts about Mickey Waffles, but
Man, okay, they're. Just like we talked about with churros and Dole Whip, there's also all kinds of specialty things, like the Valentine's Day waffles one year. They were red velvet waffles with chocolate strawberry soft serve, hot fudge, and whipped cream with heart sprinkles. Sleepy Hollow is also served a fruit Belgian waffle, where it's a Belgian waffle that's sort of folded, kind of like a taco, and it has Nutella spread and fruit, which I am just a sucker for Nutella and fresh fruit on anything, especially a waffle. That sounds so delicious to me. And obviously, chicken and waffles are a huge deal. So you can find those in plenty of places. There's a ton of different chicken and waffle options as well.
Do you want to hear something? Or do you want to find out something about me?
You don't like waffles?
No, I love waffles. I've never had Nutella before.
What?
Mm-hmm. I think it was like 2011, 2012 when Nutella was everywhere and people were taking baths in them and it was just
really
nuts.
Big fad.
This was before TikTok, so God help us if it happened when TikTok was around. Yeah, I never have had it, so to me it just doesn't sound appealing.
Do you like hazelnut?
I have no opinion.
It basically just tastes like...
I think maybe I've smelt it.
Thick, creamy chocolate with a tiny hint of nutty flavor.
So I think maybe I've smelled it, or maybe I've taken a very small taste of it, but I've never had it.
I like the consistency of it because it's sort of like if chocolate were used as a spread on any dessert or pastry or something. I think that's what I like about it because it tastes very similar to chocolate.
Sure. No, I mean it's to each their own. I just have never really had it before.
And back at you, to each their own.
Yeah.
You don't have to like Nutella.
I'm not trying to justify anything or take a bold, brave stance.
You're much pickier than I.
Well, I don't love savory. Sweet. Some sweet things I'm not the biggest fan of. If it gets too cute.
Yeah. If it's too cute, Steven won't eat it.
I just don't. Yeah. I don't know.
Don't put Simba on a waffle.
No,
Steven won't eat it. Don't give it a cute fruity topping. He won't eat it.
And the thing is, I'm not a picky eater. I'm not picky about ingredients. I'm just picky about the way things are put together.
Sure.
I'll eat pretty much anything on its own.
Yep. So, I get it.
That's that's enough of that.
A side tangent about
that's
Nutella.
enough of that.
Okay, last fun fact here, and this is where I think it is so hilarious. And this has also happened with other snacks. Like I did see this week that there are now churro mini ears that are being sold, and they're basically just like the churro dipped in chocolate that are wrapped around in a circle to form the ear with a bow in between. They look really weird. But waffles, Mickey Waffles, have gotten so popular in the Disney parks that they have made dog chew toys.
Mm-hmm.
They have ears designed after them, Loungeflies, all the
Spirit
things.
jerseys. It's crazy.
All the things. Yeah. All the merch shaped like Mickey Waffles. All of them.
Is it the Mickey Waffles that smelled like something? Or is that something different? I know they had a piece of merchandise that smelled like the item. I think it may have been waffles.
Was it the... I don't remember.
Was it the... popcorn would be terrible. I don't remember what it was.
No, popcorn kind of smells like pee. Sometimes I can't tell if there was like a dog that peed in the house or if you're putting popcorn in the microwave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think it might have been the pretzel one, maybe.
Pretzel? What in the world did that smell like?
I don't know. Oh, no, they did. It was the waffle. The waffle one was scented, and right now it's going for $236 on Etsy.
Ew.
That's insane.
Ew. People love
that
these waffles.
That is literally insane to me.
As we saw in our Instagram story, the people love the waffles.
Yeah, they really do.
They do. And I agree. I like the Mickey Waffles a lot. Yeah. But now you know how to make them at home. Now you know where waffles came from.
Yeah.
Now you know the things. So instead of asking you the questions like, where's your favorite place to get waffles?
Carnation Cafe in Disneyland.
Okay.
Because you can get the big ones. I love Carnation Cafe. It's a great little spot.
But you just said a couple minutes ago that you have feelings about Mickey Waffles.
Yeah, I have feelings.
Okay, what are your feelings? This is your chance.
Yeah, my feelings are that
my
feelings are that a waffle's a waffle.
Okay.
And I think they're fine. I don't think that they are the best thing I've ever had.
They're nothing special.
No. I mean, I think they're fine, but it's like same thing with like getting popcorn at Disney. It's not the best popcorn I've ever had in my life.
Sure.
But it scratches an itch, and it's like...
And it's the ambiance.
Exactly. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go get this thing, and it's fun, and I'm going to have breakfast at Disney, and so I might as well get a waffle that's shaped like, the mouse. Yeah. And it's a good waffle. I don't mind it. I'm not like mad about it. I'm not over the moon. It's just like, it's just totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't like getting it at like a quick service spot, because you end up just kind of getting this small little syrup container on a paper plate, and it just feels a little bit too, like, I don't know. I'm also not a big breakfast eater either.
Right.
So most mornings I don't eat breakfast. My breakfast is a big hearty black cup of coffee.
There you go.
So, but they're fine. But yeah, Carnation Cafe is where I would get one if I had to. And it would be like butter and maybe powdered sugar on it or something.
Okay.
I probably would skip the syrup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or where do you like to get waffles?
I don't really have a preference because it's just sort of wherever we're eating breakfast. There's only places that I wouldn't get the waffles because I have something else I really like to get. For example, at the Polynesian, I'm going to get the Tonga toast.
Of course.
I'm not going to get waffles.
Right. Kona
and
Cafe.
Then, what is the place on the boardwalk?
That's a really good question, but I cannot remember. It's where I left my wallet. And
it's where they have the princess character breakfast at the boardwalk.
You are thinking of Trattoria
Yes.
al Forno.
Yes. They have some of the best pancakes I've ever had.
They had really good breakfast there.
So I'm going to get their pancakes, and I'm not going to get Mickey Waffle.
Do they sell Mickey Waffles there?
I don't know, but if they do, what I'm saying is I'm not getting it. So there are just places.
Of course they do.
Yeah, most breakfast places do.
They also have a Mickey egg white omelet, which is interesting. Yeah, they have allergy-friendly Mickey-shaped waffles, the whole lot.
Yes, they do.
So that place is really good, though.
Yes.
I'm with you.
So I don't have like a go-to spot where I like to get my Mickey Waffle. I'll eat it pretty much anywhere. And then there's just certain restaurants where I love the breakfast that they offer so much that I'm going to skip the waffle to get that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to miss out on Tonga toast. It's too delicious. I'm not going to miss out on those pancakes.
Right.
They're with the like fruit spread to go on it.
Pretty good.
I love thick pancakes.
Yeah.
Like they're
When we first got
It's really
married,
hard to
when we
make
first
good
got
thick
married, you like
pancakes.
reprimanded me for making my pancakes too thin.
Well, because you made them pretty thin and pretty small.
I like to do like big old honkin' like saucer pancakes that are just thin.
That's
like a Swedish
like
pancake
crepes.
kind of, you know? Yeah, sort of.
But I didn't ask for crepes.
No one asks for
pancakes.
crepes unless you're in like some kind of like a market in Seattle
Or in France.
Yeah. I've had a crepe before. It was good.
They're fine.
Yeah, it didn't really move me, you know?
I just really like a good old thick pancake.
My thing is when I go out to breakfast, and this is probably a weird thing. Again, I'm not a big breakfast eater, but when I go out to eat breakfast, I typically want your most standard breakfast possible. So like a couple of eggs
like
over easy.
What is it called? A Grand Slam at Denny's?
Yeah, but I don't go to Denny's. I don't go to Denny's.
Yeah, but that's...
Did I have a dream that a Denny's... Was there a Denny's that opened up near us, or was that a dream I had?
That was definitely a dream.
So anyways, last night I had a dream that a Denny's opened up near us.
Weird.
In the shopping center that we usually go to. That's strange. But yeah, so for me, like breakfast is, if I go out to eat breakfast, it's like toast, 2 eggs over easy, some kind of like a sausage, lately turkey sausage, because I'm trying to watch my heart, both emotionally and physically, and a black cup of coffee and maybe some like hash browns. I don't want home fries. So that's like my thing. And I just don't like, I don't know if you've ever seen me sit down at a restaurant and be like, can I get an order of pancakes or waffles?
I don't think I have. That's what I usually is my go-to.
That's like not me at all.
Pancakes with just a side of sausage or hash browns or something. Yes.
And if worst comes to worst, just like give me an egg and the paper and a black cup of coffee and I'll be
that
pleased.
This episode has turned into like our favorite diner food.
Yeah. We used to live near a great diner in California, and we would go there a couple times a week, I think.
And we wanted to be regulars who came in and sat at the counter, and the waitress just knew our names and brought us our drinks.
And then we moved away, and we do have a pretty okay good diner near us, but it's very busy.
Yeah.
And it's not like right around the corner.
Right. Yep. But
so
it's still very good.
It is still very good.
Very good.
Yeah, waffles, you know?
Right.
What are you going to do?
Are you ready for your trivia today?
I guess, yeah.
You got a bonus point already. So what are you,
So what? I'm 4 and 7, I think. 3 and 7, I want to say. Because I missed one of them. 3 and 7. I've gotten 3 right, 7 wrong. For all you.
No.
Yes.
You're 3, 4, 7. 3
right
out of 7
You're right,
total.
you're right.
Okay.
I've got like head congestion brain, you know?
Yes.
So
you have sympathy pregnant brain. Okay, question 1. How many Mickey Waffle irons do you think are scattered throughout Walt Disney World?
I hate questions like these.
Well, these are my questions.
Okay.
So, sorry about your luck, buddy.
It's okay.
150, 300, 600, 900.
900.
That is way too many waffle irons.
I don't know. Usually you trick me and it's the highest one. Is it the second one, 300 or something?
Yes, 300.
Go with your gut, but I didn't.
300 Mickey Waffle irons. I taught you that last time.
I know, but I was going to go with my gut, but I was like, I should probably go with the pattern of how you do it, typically.
I am a former teacher. I leave no pattern.
Yeah. You leave no stone unturned. No waffle unironed.
There are 300 waffle irons scattered around Walt Disney World. Mickey waffle irons.
Like scattered, like just not plugged in and just kind of wherever?
Go find the hidden waffle irons.
Okay.
It's a new game that Disney created.
Great, yeah.
Please don't go looking for waffle irons and get me in trouble.
There's like one on the track in Thunder Mountain. You have to like, oh my gosh, no.
There's one in Spaceship Earth where you have to stare up at the ceiling when you get stuck next to Michelangelo.
None of that's
That's
nothing. That's literally nothing. Okay, yeah, great.
Question 2.
Okay.
How many Mickey Waffles do Disneyland and Disney World serve each year?
These questions are the
3 million, 5 million, 8 million, 10 million.
8 million, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are because it's always C.
Sound.
Yeah, thank you.
No, but if you guess C every time, you can get a 25% chance of getting it right.
449.
449.
449.
Yes. Or just 4 out of 9, so you don't get confused.
449.
Okay. Number 3. This
right,
one, use your little noggin.
Thank you for calling my head small. I appreciate
Which
it.
of the following is not sold as a Mickey-shaped version in Disney?
I'm going to know this for sure. Okay, go for it.
Cucumbers, pasta, sourdough, or chips?
Chips. Final answer.
Is that your final answer?
Chips.
Do you know where Mickey-shaped chips are sold?
Wait, are they actually sold in Disney?
They're not sold in Disney, but they are sold out of Disney. So you are correct.
Yeah, I know I was correct because I know I'm correct because Living with the Land obviously is going to have cucumbers.
But
I've seen
not necessarily where they're served. They do have cucumbers that are shaped like that they put on salads and stuff.
And then because that's the most cucumber shaped Mickey's title is the most Mickey shaped cucumbers title.
Cucumber shaped Mickey.
Woo-wee. Cucumber shaped Mickey's title. Mickey shaped cucumbers are super obvious. You know, you got 3 circles, snip, 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 slice, slice, slice. Mickey Mouse. Pasta's easy. You just kind of whatever. I don't know what you're gonna do with pasta, but
they sell it in bags.
You put
can
3
buy
pastas
it
together. You know, where 3 or more pastas are gathered, you got Mickey Mouse. And then
Mickey
I've
sourdough.
seen sourdough. I've seen Mickey sourdough. It's delicious.
At Pacific Wharf.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yep.
Chips. Where do you get it outside of Disney? Is it a Disney like?
Hint, we have purchased these before for road trips.
I don't know, gas stations. Target, huh?
Yep.
Oh, you're talking about like Goldfish?
No.
We've had Mickey shaped chips, huh?
Yeah.
What kind of chips?
It's Veggie Straw brand, but they're chips.
Oh, I don't like veggie straws. No, thank you.
Veggie Straw brand, but they're chips.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
And they're shaped like Mickey Mouse, and they have him on the front. Remember?
No.
I've literally bought them and snacked on road trips with you.
One of my biggest fears is when people snack and when they eat in cars. And so
can I just clarify, he doesn't like when you snack anywhere.
No.
Whether it's in your kitchen,
no,
in your living room, in your dining room, in your bed.
In bed is like off limits. When we were on vacation in Maine, and our daughter was like sitting in our hotel bed watching TV, and I got in bed later and there was like crumbs on my side of the bed, and I almost shot up like Buster Keaton and went through the roof because I was about to lose my mind.
She just wiped her little fingers all over the place.
I almost broke a lease with my roommate in college because he was eating Doritos in bed, and I was like, I don't want to like quote this for certain, but I'm almost positive he wiped his nasty fingers on the sheets.
No.
It's crazy.
Dorito fingers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I don't remember that. All I know is that veggie straws give me massive anxiety.
Our daughter also loves to eat veggie straws.
Yeah.
And they're much greasier than one would assume.
They leave the worst grease trail you've ever seen.
It's like a snail.
She was eating veggie straws and like touched my keyboard on my computer, and I was like, cool. Now I gotta throw away this computer.
The last thing and best part of when our daughter eats veggie straws is that she separates them by color and refuses to eat the green one.
Yeah, we have a kid on our hands who's very smart and likes to separate things based on color. And like she won't, when we bought her like the Disney 100 goldfish, she only ate the goldfish-shaped goldfish.
She didn't eat the characters.
She didn't eat the characters. It's like, okay, well.
They all taste like goldfish, but she refused to eat Elsa or.
Okay, the craziest, it's
Woody.
It's Woody.
Elsa.
No, it's Woody.
Oh, there's Elsa.
Elsa and Daisy Duck.
Yes.
That is the craziest trio of characters. What were they thinking? Woody,
they're appealing.
Daisy, and Elsa.
They're appealing to what they think is the boys, the girls, and the older folks.
That is the worst bell curve I've ever seen.
Well, that's what I was not in the board meeting with the Goldfish executives, but that's what they were thinking.
Zooks, dude.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. That's all I have about waffles.
Are you
also Goldfish?
I have a question for you about waffles.
Yes.
A lot of people like say you have to eat the ears first. Are you that kind of person?
No. I'm particular. I don't like my food to touch. Here's my only thing about waffles.
Yeah.
The waffle is the only thing on my plate.
Right.
I'm not. If you serve the waffles with a side of bacon, a side of eggs, it's coming on a separate plate because the second my syrup touches my scrambled eggs,
you'll send it back.
They're going in the garbage.
Yeah, you'll send it right back.
I don't want soggy, syrupy anything but my waffle.
Yeah. That's like when I order tacos at a restaurant and like there's a side of rice and beans, which if it's a really good restaurant, typically you don't get a side of rice and beans with your tacos.
I love rice and beans with my tacos.
But if your corn tortilla is touching beans and it becomes a soggy bean boy when you pick it up, pass.
Yeah, I also don't go overboard with my syrup. Like I don't like to fill the ears to the brim with syrup and then just eat them.
So when I was coming up as a lad in England, my parents' waffle maker was one of those ones where it, you know, like they were shaped as like triangles. You know what I mean? So like it basically
pizza
was
slices.
Like kind of, yeah. So it was the waffle iron and then there was four distinct quarters.
Yes.
I used to only put butter on. Still only put butter on my pancakes and waffles because I'm like not trying to have syrup. So I used to cut them up and eat them like slices of pizza, and my dad would always get so annoyed and tell me it wasn't finger food. And I'd be like,
in Belgium, it is.
I'd be like, hey dog, it's literally shaped like pizza, and I don't have syrup on it.
And it's also Belgium. Like that's the way that they do it in Belgium.
I would eat my waffles like a slice of pizza. They were too small to fold in half like a New Yorker, but I still.
Okay, this is my last thing about waffles, I swear.
We can go on. I could actually do this forever about waffles.
This is my last thing about waffles, I swear. And I'm going to throw Steven under the bus for a minute.
I don't care. It's fine.
Because when we first got married, we had a waffle maker. Do you remember what happened to our waffle maker?
Oh, yeah, I remember it. Because what happened was, can I tell it or do you want to say it?
Yeah, if you remember.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened because I wasn't thinking I was new to the earth. And I decided instead of filling up like my quarter cup or like my third cup of mix and just putting it in the middle and closing it, I put a third cup of mix in every single little section, and then I closed it, and it just went everywhere. It was crazy. You know, it was crazy.
And you also flipped it before it had even had a chance.
Yeah.
And so there was waffle mix oozing out of every crevice of that waffle maker. It was
I remember that.
Uncleanable.
I'm pretty sure we just threw it. We like got rid of it.
I'm telling you, it was all over the cord.
I know.
It was. Thankfully, waffle makers are not that expensive.
Yeah.
There was no coming back from that.
No, there wasn't. We should we should just create a different show about our cooking foibles. I have more than you because I cook more than you.
I don't cook because I would have lots.
It's kind of like when you're a kid and you try to make a grilled cheese sandwich or like a quesadilla and you just put it on like the higher setting to cook it faster.
Yeah.
And you just end up burning the outside and having cold cheese on the inside.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Life's crazy that way.
I bake. I don't.
I hate baking.
Baking.
There's too many. I made shoe pastries one time just for fun.
They were
a couple years ago. They were delicious, but
they didn't look ideal.
They looked like crap, but they tasted good.
Yes, that's what matters.
And yeah. Anyways, is that it?
That's all we have.
That's all we got. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to our show. Again, we do appreciate it. If you guys would like to, you can support the show by leaving us a kind review and nice words on Apple Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, find us on theparksacademypod.com. And also, if you'd like to, you can support the show on Patreon if you see fit to do so. If you want, that'd be great. Thanks to our sponsor, Deep Cut Co., for sponsoring the show and making incredible handcrafted accessories and accoutrements for vinyls and record players. You guys are awesome. You can get 10% off your first order with Deep Cut using the code TPA10 at checkout. Last week we said start in Mexico. No, start in Canada, start in Adventureland, start in Mexico, start in Tomorrowland. I started noodling around with t-shirt ideas for those. They're terrible because it's my first round, so I'm going to keep working on it. But I think we have something there.
I think we do.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks so much for listening. Start in Canada, start in Adventureland.